Feeding the farm crew in the field is a necessary tradition that is alive and well in Western Canada. And as a farmer myself, I can attest to the value of a well-fed farm crew. On this episode of Farm Show TV, we will be celebrating harvest with the delivery of a Canada's Farm Show field meal presented by Viterra to a very deserving farm family, How Livestock and Grain. This field meal was created by Chef Chaminda and prepared in the Real Flavors kitchen. He used some truly amazing Saskatchewan-grown ingredients. We also included some Coke and Great Western products, and we couldn't leave without delivering some of Canada's Farm Show swag. Before we head over to How Livestock and Grain, I invited Chef Chaminda to join me on my farm so we could talk about some of the crops that I grow that he used in this truly special meal. So Chef, we're standing in a field that was lentils. Large green lentils have been grown on our farm for several years, probably close to 15 years. And it's recently been harvested, and I don't want to pretend like we left these lentil plants for you to see today, but we happen to have a missed spot that I can show you.
I think I'm lucky enough to see some.
As you can see, it's really a short plant that grows. There's not a lot of plant material that happens, so the headers and the combines, the equipment that we used, basically has to shave the ground in order to harvest the lentil out of the plant. So I'll just pull this plant up. This is the pod, and on the plant will be as many pods as we can grow. The more lentils and pods per plant, the higher the yield, the more successful our crop will be. So if you just, several of them still have a lentil in them. So if you open it up, you can see, this one actually has two, bonus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that would be what the large green lentils will look like. So these ones aren't the prettiest lentils at the moment, but you can kind of get an idea when you shell them out. Inside there is the lentils. So the province of Saskatchewan is the largest exporter of lentils around the world. So,
that's right. Yeah, that's I get to know once I came here. It was surprising me too. Yeah.
Saskatchewan people don't tend to eat a lot of lentils, but when it comes to the world market of lentils, we're actually a really big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So tell me about cooking large green lentils for you. Is it fun? Do you have to flavor them? Or?
We have been using this green lentils since I grow, I guess, and then we use it in a different ways and all. So once I came to here in Regina, I figured out lentil is a big market in here and compared to, and we are exporting so much too. And what I do is I try to create in a different ways, how I roast them and make it into powder and make some kind of pasta, or how I'm going to crust it and use it as a crust on the steak or fish or something like that. So I'm looking forward to do much more on using all local grown lentils and all. Honestly, I never seen the chickpeas though. First time seeing a chickpeas tree.
That's awesome. If we happen to get a lot of rain and sun, this plant that looks dead right now would start regrowing.
Oh.
Then it's awful to harvest it, because then you'll have new growth on the top that's green and trying to shoot out more peas. Meanwhile, so the plant is in all different stages.
Oh, I see.
So that's why in most chickpea fields, you have to use a chemical like a desiccant that kills the plant. Otherwise, the damn thing will just keep growing.
So after how many months you get start growing these seeds and all?
So we'll plant them in April, and typical harvest would be September, maybe even October. We've harvested chickpeas in November. It just depends, because they don't want to stop growing. And the more they grow, the more yields they'll make, so you don't want to stop it. But if the weather, like this year, we just had no moisture, so the plants just
stop growing.
And these are quite nice chickpeas. Typically, chickpeas are quite susceptible to disease pressure, and so you constantly have to spray them with a fungicide to help with the disease. But these are actually quite nice. A 10mm chickpea is kind of what you would love to have. So these are maybe a little bit on the smaller side, but still pretty good. So these greener ones, if you try to open that up, see, it's soft and pliable, and then you can tell that there's moisture in it. So look at how big they are.
Can I try?
Yeah, yeah. And so that hasn't yet, it's still bitter. If you find really green one.
Probably very similar taste to peas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very sweet. At the right time, when the chickpeas are all green, green chickpeas are my absolute favorite. We don't have a mechanism to harvest green chickpeas.
Yeah.
I think it's very manual labor, really. I'm not sure what kind of machine it takes to harvest them. But this will shrivel up and then become this.
Yes, you tried that one, yes.
That's right.
Great. So, since you mentioned that, like green, which is not grow fully, maybe something I can come up with some idea, like, okay, maybe next year when you're doing a farm show, create some kind of dish, like how to incorporate this one with the salad course or something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are standing in an unharvested canola field, and you can feel that everything is kind of dry, so it won't be too long and we'll be able to harvest the canola. So in each one of these pods, so I'm gonna pull up a big plant, because canola, it's kind of a funky looking plant. So it will bush out like this, and then each one of these pods will have the seeds inside. So you can crack open these pods, and then you'll find these little kind of black seeds.
Very similar to the color and the size of
Mustard?
Mustard?
Yeah. Yes, very similar.
Yeah.
And so mustard is often used obviously as a condiment.
Yeah.
With canola, it's grown for its oil content.
That's right.
So when you think about canola oil from a chef's perspective or from consumers, they almost always think about canola oil and the baking, or that's how they would buy canola, is in canola oil. So once you separate the oil content, then there's a meal that's left, and so that can be used to feed fish. It can be used to feed cattle. There's lots of things that you can do with the meal.
I think Canada is providing what's percentage of oil to the world?
Yeah, the canola success story is Canada's to own. In fact, it was scientists here in Saskatchewan that developed canola. So it comes from a rapeseed, which has been grown for many decades and grown in many parts of the world.
Yeah.
But scientists here in Canada developed it. It's a genetic modification of rapeseed that gives us canola.
Oil.
You got it. So it's a success story for us as farmers to be able to grow an oilseed crop like this, and it's quite a profitable one. You would have seen in the news a lot this past year. There's several announcements for canola processing facilities in Saskatchewan. A lot of them. So we're quite excited because typically what grows on my farm gets exported as a bulk commodity. And I think we're missing the value piece of what we're growing. So for us to be able to process here in Saskatchewan and export a value-added process is good for the whole value chain.
That's true, yes. As for the province also, it's good for
Absolutely, for the jobs, for the economy, for GDP.
Right now, where they deliver, where they're going to export to this, going to straight to US or?
Well, canola gets shipped around the world, yes, into the US. China is actually a very big buyer of canola meal and canola oil. But it is shipped all over the world. What we'll do to test the canola, you watch for green content. You don't want to have green content. So because it indicates moisture and that it's not ready yet. So we'll take
pretty much this color, no green at all.
Right, and it's the inside that matters. So when you
can we try?
Yeah, if you can crack one open, there. You see, I cracked it open. It's windy, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
So see how it's bright yellow?
That's what we are looking?
Yep, you want it to be nice and yellow. When it's immature, it will be bright green.
Oh, I see.
We have a special tool device called a smasher. Well, I don't actually know what it's called, but I call it just a smusher. And you will roll the canola seeds. So it's like a big long ruler that has tiny little holes in it. We put the canola in the seeds, and then you roll on top of it to smush them. And when they're smushed, you'll be able to tell if it's yellow inside or if it's green. On any given year, for the most part, we grow 1/3 of a cereal crop, so that would be durum or barley.
Barley, yeah.
1/3 of our farm would be in an oilseed crop, like a mustard or a flax, but for us it's canola. and the last third would be in a pulse crop. So that would be your chickpeas or your lentils or your field peas. And that helps just for agronomic purposes in the soil. We're able to rotate those crops amongst each other.
Yeah. So next year this area going to be something else?
It'll be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can see, you know, the previous crop, you know, will not have biodegraded. So this crop will remain on the soil after it's harvested, and that just adds to the organic matter in the soil and improves the soil
That's
content.
right, yeah.
At Evraz Place and Mosaic Stadium, do you guys only use canola oil in all of the deep fryers?
That's right, yeah. That's the only thing we use, yes. Yeah.
Well, the farmers are grateful for that, yeah.
As you said, it's very healthier,
Yeah.
one thing, and then second thing is, you know, like if you go with a peanut and all, you know, like so many allergies and all we have to deal with,
yeah.
right? So I think it's ideal we use the canola oil for all cooking process, right?
High five, Chef. A big thank you to my new friend in food, Chef Chaminda, for taking the time to walk and talk in the fields with me. When farmers and chefs get together, fun things happen. Now let's go feed a hungry crew. Located near Mossbank, Howe Livestock and Grain is owned and operated by Chris and Danny Hawkins and Derek and Christy Howe. Together they farm 12,000 acres and grow chickpeas, lentils, barley, and canola. Between the two families, they have 9 children, 7 girls and 2 boys. They are busy raising cattle and raising kids, but not too busy to volunteer extensively in their local community. Is this your first time cooking in the field? I just want you to know I'm kind of an expert at field meals.
I know
No
you
pressure.
are, I know you are. I'm going to give you a choice of knife. You can pick anything you want to.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
So these are all brand new.
Wow. Holy man, these are
so-
exceptional tools. All right.
These are very sharp.
Yep.
And make sure you figure out the right one with whatever the comfortable. Okay.
Okay, so what are you having me cook? Some sausage. So I need a little bit of a roll. How about this one right here? Yeah?
Good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use this one.
Oh, you hid that one on purpose.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See, this is kind of you can start with.
Okay, how thick do you want it?
So these are farmers, right?
Yep.
They will eat. They love the meat.
They do?
So, yeah. So why don't you cut the way you want to eat?
All right.
So you put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you
A new technique?
new technique.
Okay.
So you keep your finger like this.
Yeah.
And then you can measure with your knife, with the finger when you're cutting it. See, now you know, even you can talk to somebody else while you're cutting it. You know where the knife is hit,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
Okay, good. Here we go.
Okay, you guys see me not looking? This would actually be quite handy with the kids around and they're yelling like, Mom! And I
Yeah,
can be
it's-
like, don't bug me, but now,
Now
like,
you
go
know.
ahead, bug me. So what kind of sausage am I cutting up here?
This is all salami, different kind of salamis.
Yeah, pork based?
Pork base, yeah. And this one is a Genoa salami.
Yeah.
And this one is dry chorizo style. You see that?
Yeah, the marbling.
Yeah, marbling and then spiciness of it. Yeah.
I noticed you're using Gravelberg mustard, Chef.
Yes, that's
I
right.
grew up, my hometown is pretty close to Gravelberg.
That's cool.
And I would argue that that is some of the finest mustard I've ever had.
You can try some too, eh?
I can eat some?
Yeah.
This one looks like a real, I did like a,
To make sure, you know, like,
Triangle.
here, try this and see how do you feel.
it's quality assurance, isn't
Of
it?
course, yeah. That's all about the chefs, right? You
It's
like it?
acceptable. That's really good. So how do you avoid not weighing like 300 pounds when you're a chef?
How do I avoid
How
that?
do you avoid that?
I
Do you have
think
a really strong like fitness regime?
I think it's controlling what you're eating, one thing, and then second thing, you know, like, you know, I have put 32,000 of steps on a game day, usual game day.
On Rider Game Day, 32,000 steps?
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
So that's all about, you know, like it's a huge operation. So
Yeah.
make sure everything is run smooth, and you know, I need to go and check it out, the few things. Wherever it is, you know, like I know I have to go from one end to the other end.
I didn't know that being a chef was a cardio workout. I had not heard that before.
I think that's the secret behind all this.
Yeah, yeah, the whole package. Okay, do you want that one? Do you want this to be pretty in there?
Yeah, just throw in there like rustic style.
All about the presentation.
Yeah.
So what are we serving here, Chef?
This is the fall's winter salad, root vegetable, roasted root vegetable, and microgreens.
And what about this? Is that extra? Right there? Where
Yeah,
do you
that's
want
right.
it?
Yeah, that's
Right
for the
there?
garnish, right?
Okay. It's a beautiful garnish.
Yeah.
Okay everyone, not to interrupt your dessert, but we just wanted to say a great big thank you to you. This is the first of Canada's Farm Show Field Meals, brought to you by Viterra. So a big round of applause to our sponsors. Yeah, and just a sincere gratitude to How Livestock, all that is How Livestock, especially the kids, for indulging us and letting us come out here and show some gratitude to you guys that are growing the food at harvest time. And it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you our chef from Real Flavors in Saskatchewan here. He feeds everybody. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, and I'm really pleasure to do this meal with you using your ingredients. And you know, the concept is farm to table. So I try to use all ingredients, as I said, mention what you guys grow, and then I'm looking forward to do more and more these kind of event, and really appreciate, and my pleasure to come and do this kind of meal. I know the wind is giving us a hard time.
Mother Nature gave us a hard time this whole year, so I don't know why she'd cut us a break.
So yeah, so as I said, you know, like really enjoying using your ingredients and come up to do this kind of event for you guys. Really pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
A very special thank you to the family and crew of How Livestock and Grain for sharing your harvest with us and letting us deliver this first field meal experience. And another thank you to our sponsor, Viterra. This has been a really special day for me and my first official appearance as host of Canada's Farm Show. You can find this episode of Farm Show TV on our website at canadasfarmshow.com. And remember, it's on demand anytime you want to watch it from wherever you want to watch it. Maybe you're still combining, maybe you're in a tractor, maybe you're on the beach. Remember the beach. Wherever you are, at canadasfarmshow.com, you can watch the episodes and the full show. Check it out.
We know farming isn't an 8-to-5 business. That's why we want to give you the tools to do business anywhere, anytime. With MyViterra, you have a powerful tool at your fingertips to stay connected no matter where you are. Create online contracts, receive customized alerts, view your account information, and access grain prices in real time. Talk to your rep today and find out more about how you can harness the power of MyViterra, keeping you connected in real time. This is MyViterra.